Let's take a look at the euro dollar for the upcoming September the 24th session. Again, on the daily chart, still above this channel, up and down, up and down. This was a bearish engulfing pattern. You really don't see too many of those too often on a daily chart. That's a pretty strong pattern. You can see that it was duplicated here, and then we had some move down. So this to me is giving me some a sign of caution as trades to the upside on a longer term on the euro dollar. Also, so let's get down to the 1 hour chart and let's take a look at what we have here. You can see that we've kind of had this rounded top. And what I'm going to draw in after I delete these little lines here, I'm going to draw on a trend line. And when we take a look at this trend line, we're going to take it from the spike that came in earlier today. We're going to take that trend line right there. We're going to drop it. You can see we've broken through it. The reason we want to watch this on the Euro USD again, as we've mentioned with the pound dollar, we had a long weekend followed by the Bank of Japan having bank holidays Monday and Tuesday. This is their first upcoming session after a FOMC meeting. So what we're going to see is what happens with price with these lows. As you can see, we're back in some previous resistance, which is right over here. We're going to watch for one of a couple things. This is pretty steep of a trend line, even when I take it down to a 30-minute chart. So there's not much I can see for a break to the upside. But if price comes back up to the upside of this trend line here, I'm going to be looking for a sell opportunity. You know, imagine, again, some kind of futuristic trend line out here in the future where price has worked its way back up to that trend line. Any kind of close over that trend line on a 30-minute chart, I'd be looking for a sell. Then if we do consolidate through Asia here in any way, whatever low is established down here in the future, whatever low comes down to, through here and price just kind of pauses for a while, any kind of break below that, and break by that mean price going over it and closing on the other side of that level on a 60-minute chart, we're going to be looking for a sell. So anything, again, where we get this futuristic price trend if price comes back up here to this trend line, any kind of close below that futuristic trend line on a 30-minute chart, we'd be looking to sell. Remember, as you're taking a look to sell and coming back to a significant low, it's always good to take some money off the table at that point and see if it's going to continue to run down. That's going to be a wrap for the euro dollar for the upcoming September the 24th session. Let's take a look at the pound dollar for the upcoming September the 4th session. Again, we want to just be mindful of the fact that on a daily chart, we're still below the daily trend line, but we basically double bottomed off these lows right here. And price is just kind of playing around. You can see up and down some spikes. We've had the FOMC meeting released out, no major massive surprise, any information there, followed by the fact that we've had two Bank of Japan holidays back-to-back Monday and Tuesday after a long weekend. So let's go down to the 1 hour chart and tell you what we're going to be watching for. Now we've had price falling down here through most of the later afternoon session after some spiking. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch for during the upcoming sessions. We're going to have we have a really nice trend line in here. And during the Asian session in particular, it looks like we could pull back up and retest that. So that's what we see on a 60-minute chart. You can see that nice clean trend line, and I can delete a few of these little lines off here, and it becomes very clear, that nice clean trend line, so that when we take this down to a 30-minute chart, you're going to see that what we're going to be watching for during the Asian session and the London session is we're going to look for price to form a little bottom in here. We have a nice little trend line coming down here on the 30-minute as well. It's pretty steep. We're going to look for maybe a close above this trend line on a 30-minute to go long and then come back up here and retest the backside of this trend line. And at that point, we're going to expect price to actually maybe give a little bit of a hold there. And then we'd be looking to sell from that period on. The other thing is, because we've had very little Asian market price action, we might continue on down. So there's not much we could do about that. And so the other thing that we'd want to keep our mind on is if price does rise back up to the upside here, that if price does go back to the upside, that if price does pause and channel here for a while, then whatever low is established down here, any kind of close below that low on a 60-minute chart any kind of close below whatever low or consolidation that may form in here, that closes below that on a 60-minute chart, we'd be looking to go short. So again, just to reiterate, a close above this trend line on a 30-minute chart, we're going to be looking for a buy to go up to this trend line, retest the backside. That'll give us some kind of futuristic trend line out here in the future. I can draw that so we don't have to imagine however price goes up there. And then a break of that trend line to the downside, we'd be looking to sell. And a close of that price below that trend line on a 30-minute, we'd be looking to sell. We take up some profit here and then see if it's going to continue to run. And that's going to be a wrap for the pound dollar for the upcoming September the 24th session.